Ever heard of a black Taj Mahal?
A black Taj Mahal.
Yeah, you know the iconic white marble one?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's this persistent legend about Shah Jahan, the Mughal emperor who built it,
Yeah.
wanting to build another one, but in black.
Mm,
It's one of those history mysteries that, really grabs you.
right.
So we're doing a deep dive today using excerpts from Wikipedia as our source.
Okay.
To see if we can figure out, fact from fiction.
Right.
Was there an actual plan for this black Taj Mahal?
Right.
Is it a misunderstanding of something else or just completely made up?
Yeah, it's a really fascinating legend.
Yeah.
And it, kind of speaks to our love of mysteries.
Oh, for sure.
And maybe even a little bit of wish fulfillment, right?
Fun.
The idea of these hidden or unfinished masterpieces, really gets the imagination going.
Absolutely. But to really understand this, we need to start with the Taj Mahal itself.
Okay.
And everyone knows it's beautiful, but I think it's easy to forget how groundbreaking it was.
Oh, for sure. You're totally right. It's not just a pretty building,
Right.
Shah Jahan built it for his wife, Mumtaz Mahal,
Mhm.
who died in 1631.
Yeah.
And every detail is meant to showcase their love and his power.
Yeah.
It really set a new standard for Mughal architecture.
Mhm.
Not just the incredible detail, but the sheer scale of it,
Yeah.
It must have been awe-inspiring to see back then.
Which makes the idea of a black Taj Mahal
Right.
even more intriguing.
Yeah.
The legend says Shah Jahan wanted to build this black marble mausoleum for himself,
Okay.
right across the Yamuna River from the Taj Mahal.
Oh, wow. So like facing each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And that's where the symbolism gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
So if the white Taj Mahal represents Mumtaz and their love,
Right.
what would a black Taj Mahal across the river stand for?
Yeah. Good question.
Is it his grief, his own mortality, something else entirely?
Yeah. It really makes you think about duality
Yeah.
in Mughal art and architecture.
Is that something that was common?
Well,
Like the white Taj stands for purity and the black one is something darker.
Well, let's think about that.
Okay.
White in Mughal culture wasn't just about aesthetics.
Right.
It was deeply connected to spiritual purity.
Mhm.
It represented light, divine radiance, even royal authority.
Okay.
So the Taj Mahal being built in white marble,
Yeah.
it wasn't just an artistic choice.
Right.
It was a very deliberate statement.
So if white represented all of that,
Yeah.
what would black symbolize?
Right.
We can't just apply a modern interpretation to it, can
No, we can't. And that's what makes this so fascinating.
we? Mhm.
We need to consider how Mughals back then viewed color. Black, for instance, wasn't always associated with, bad things.
Oh, interesting.
It could represent power,
Oh,
mystery, even the vastness of the cosmos.
wow.
So a black Taj Mahal might not necessarily be about grief or mourning.
Right.
It could be about Shah Jahan's connection to a greater power,
Mhm.
a cosmic balance, even.
That's a really interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
So we've got this concept of a black Taj.
hmm
But where did this legend come from?
The earliest mention we have is from a European traveler,
Okay.
Jean-Baptiste Tavernier. He visited Agra in 1665,
Mhm.
and he wrote about Shah Jahan's starting work on a black marble tomb across the river,
Okay.
but then being deposed by his son Aurangzeb
Yeah.
before it could be finished.
But that's just one guy saying that, right?
Exactly.
Like, is there any evidence to support his claim?
That's the catch.
Yeah.
There's no physical evidence
Ah.
that's ever been found to support his account.
Nothing.
No foundations, no plans, nothing concrete.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of modern archaeologists think the Black Taj is a myth,
Oh, wow.
pure fiction.
But hold on.
Yeah.
What about those foundations some people claim were part of the Black Taj?
Right, good point.
I remember reading about that.
That's where the historian Ram Nath comes in.
Okay.
He specializes in this period and has studied the area extensively.
Right.
He argues that what some thought were foundations
Yeah.
are actually just remnants of a garden wall
Oh, really?
built way before Shah Jahan
Wow.
by his ancestor Babur.
So no Black Taj foundation, just an old garden wall.
Seems that way.
That makes sense. But I'm still stuck on the placement of Shah Jahan's tomb.
Inside the Taj.
Yeah, inside the Taj Mahal.
Okay.
It's off-center from Mumtaz Mahal's tomb.
It is, yeah.
Doesn't that make people think he planned to be buried somewhere else?
Right.
Like in this black Taj?
It did fuel those theories for sure.
That off-center placement really throws things off, doesn't it?
It does seem a little odd.
Yeah.
But before we jump to conclusions,
Okay.
let's consider something.
Yeah.
This kind of layout wasn't unique to the Taj Mahal.
Wait, are you saying other Mughal tombs have this off-center placement?
Exactly. There's a whole field of study
Right.
dedicated to Mughal funerary architecture.
Wow.
We could do a whole deep dive on that sometime.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
But for now, what's important is that in the tomb of Ibn Dela,
Okay.
another significant Mughal monument, we see a similar layout. And this is where tradition comes in.
So, is there some kind of traditional or religious reason for this off-center placement?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, tell me.
It turns out that in Islamic tradition,
Yeah.
when a husband and wife are buried together, the husband is usually buried to the right of his wife,
Cool.
facing Mecca.
Oh, interesting.
This placement isn't about an unfinished plan or a missing tomb.
Right.
It's about adhering to deeply rooted cultural and religious beliefs.
So the off-center tomb, while it seems odd at first,
Yeah.
actually lines up with Mughal burial customs.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how this whole Black Taj legend
Yeah.
might be more about romantic speculation than historical reality.
It's definitely possible.
But wait,
Yeah.
there's still the Moonlight Garden theory, right?
Oh, you're right.
But what about the reflections?
We can't forget about that.
Yeah.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about the lack of physical evidence for a Black Taj?
Yeah.
Well, what if Shah Jahan's vision wasn't about a physical structure at all,
Okay.
but rather a reflection?
Okay, now you have my attention.
All right.
Tell me more about this Moonlight Garden theory.
So in 2006,
Okay.
archaeologists were working across the river from the Taj Mahal
Mm-hmm.
in a garden called Mehtaba.
Oh.
They were reconstructing a pool there, and what they found completely reframed the Black Taj debate.
What did they find?
Was it a hidden foundation?
Yeah, was it plans?
Give me the details. Not quite. But what they did discover is that this reconstructed pool, while filled with water, creates a dark reflection of the Taj Mahal.
Really?
Not a perfect mirror image, of course,
Right.
but a shadowy, almost ghostly counterpart.
Wow.
Almost like a Black Taj.
A dark reflection. That's so poetic, but also kind of eerie.
It is, yeah.
Are you suggesting that Shah Jahan might have intended this reflection
Yeah.
to be his Black Taj all along?
It's definitely a possibility.
Wow.
Think about it.
Okay.
We've got this emperor known for his grand vision, his
Yeah.
love of symbolism and his attention to detail.
Right.
What if instead of building another massive structure,
Yeah.
he chose to create this illusion, this visual echo of the Taj Mahal using the river and the moonlight?
That would explain why we haven't found any physical evidence.
Exactly.
But it also raises so many more questions, like what did he intend to convey with this reflection? If the White Taj Mahal represents Mumtaz, their love story, everything's right and beautiful.
Right.
What does this darker reflection symbolize?
Well, the obvious answer is grief, right?
Yeah.
The white Taj Mahal bathing in sunlight
Right.
represents life and love, while the black reflection, only visible under the moon,
Right.
represents loss and the eternal night.
Yeah.
It's a pretty poignant image.
It really is.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's more to it than that. Remember how we discussed the importance of duality in Mughal culture?
Oh, yeah.
The interplay of light and darkness, life and death, the earthly and the divine.
Right. Right.
Could this reflection be another expression of that concept?
You're absolutely on the right track.
Yeah.
The Taj Mahal complex itself, with its gardens reflecting pools and carefully planned architecture, was designed to be a microcosm of the universe, encompassing all of these opposing forces.
And by creating this visual Black Taj, through the reflection,
Yeah.
he was acknowledging the inherent duality of existence.
Right.
The fact that light can't exist without darkness, that life is ultimately intertwined with death.
Precisely.
Wow.
It's not just about mourning Mumtaz. It's about grappling with these bigger existential questions.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like he was saying, yes, I built this monument to love, to light, to life, but there's another side to that coin, and I'm not afraid to acknowledge it.
You know, I've always been blown away by the beauty of the Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
But this deep dive is making me realize how much deeper it goes than just aesthetics.
It really is a masterpiece on multiple levels.
Yeah.
And the Black Taj Mahal legend,
Right.
whether it refers to a physical structure or a symbolic reflection just adds to the mystique.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how many other hidden meanings or symbolic gestures we might be missing when we look at historical structures.
It's a reminder that history is rarely straightforward. Sometimes the most intriguing answers lie not in grand pronouncements, but in subtle details and interpretations.
Yeah.
And sometimes those interpretations can change our whole understanding of a monument.
So if we entertain this moonlight garden theory, this idea that the Black Taj wasn't a building but a reflection, what does that tell us about Shah Jahan? What was he trying to achieve?
Well, for me, it speaks to his complexity. He wasn't just a grieving husband or a powerful emperor. He was a man grappling with big ideas, love loss, the nature of existence, the balance of the cosmos.
Wow.
And he expressed those ideas not just through marble and precious stone.
If black could represent concepts like power or the cosmos, then maybe this reflection wasn't meant to be mournful at all. Maybe it was meant to be empowering. A visual representation of Shah Jahan's own connection to a greater force.
That's a fantastic point. And it challenges us to consider that maybe we've been too quick to impose our own modern interpretations on the past.
Yeah, for sure.
What if instead of grief, the Black Taj reflection represented Shah Jahan's attempt to merge with Mumtaz in the afterlife?
Oh, wow.
To become one with the cosmic forces. Or maybe it was a way of signifying his own legacy. A legacy that would endure long after his physical body was gone. Just like the reflection endures as long as the moon shines.
I love how this opens up so many different interpretations.
It's really thought-provoking.
And I think that's part of what makes the Black Taj Mahal legend so compelling. Whether or not it ever existed as a physical structure, it continues to exist in our minds. Adding another layer of intrigue to the story of the Taj Mahal.
Absolutely.
It speaks to the enduring power of stories and how they can shape our understanding of the world long after the events themselves have faded into the past. It's almost like the story of the Black Taj is a reflection itself.
A reflection.
Yeah, a reflection of our own desires. Our fascination with mystery and our need to find meaning in the world around us.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it.
So we've explored the legend, the historical evidence,
or lack thereof,
and the symbolism. But I need a reality check. What's the final verdict? Was there a Black Taj or not?
Honestly, we may never know for sure.
Really?
The lack of concrete evidence makes it difficult to say definitively whether Shah Jahan truly intended to build a black marble mausoleum. However, the legend itself and all the interpretations it has spawned tell us a lot about the power of the Taj Mahal, the complexity of Mughal culture, and ultimately the limitations of our own historical knowledge.
So even if the Black Taj Mahal never existed as a physical structure, its impact on how we view the Taj Mahal and Shah Jahan's legacy is undeniable.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most compelling stories are the ones that leave us with more questions than answers.
Exactly.
And sometimes those unanswered questions are the most valuable. They force us to think critically, to be open to different perspectives, and to appreciate the fact that history is rarely black and white.
Or in this case, black and white marble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic point.
Thanks.
So, what can we take away from all of this? What should our listeners be thinking about as they ponder this tale of the Taj Mahal and its mysterious twin?
Well, for one, I think it's a reminder to approach historical narratives with a healthy dose of skepticism. We've seen how a legend, even one as captivating as the Black Taj, can persist for centuries despite a lack of concrete evidence. It's a reminder that we should always be willing to question the stories we're told and to look for evidence to support or refute them.
I completely agree. It's so easy to get swept up in a good story. But it's important to remember that history is complex, often contested. And always open to interpretation.
Exactly.
We have to do our own digging.
Absolutely.
And on a more personal level, I think the Black Taj Mahal legend also reminds us of the power of symbolism.
I agree.
The ways in which we try to make sense of the world around us. whether through stories, monuments, or even reflections in the water.
It's about looking beyond the surface and searching for deeper meaning.
And in doing so, we create a richer, more meaningful understanding of ourselves, of our history, and of the human experience as a whole.
Beautifully put.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe that was Shah Jahan's intention all along.
Yeah.
To spark our curiosity, to make us think, and to leave us with more questions than answers.
Yeah.
Maybe the real Black Taj wasn't a building, but the mystery itself.
Speaking of questions, I have one more for you.
Okay.
We've talked about the Black Taj reflection, symbolizing grief, duality, even connection to cosmic forces.
Yeah.
But what if Shah Jahan was trying to convey something even more profound?
Okay.
Something about the nature of perception itself.
Perception.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way our understanding of something can shift based on our perspective, the time of day, even the presence or absence of light.
That's a fascinating thought.
Yeah.
You're right. The Taj Mahal looks completely different during the day compared to under the moonlight.
Yeah.
Even our understanding of the Black Taj legend changes depending on whether we view it as a physical structure or a reflection.
Yeah.
Shah Jahan might have been playing with that very idea, that our perceptions shape reality as much as reality shapes our perceptions.
And if that's the case, then maybe there's no single definitive answer to the question of the Black Taj. Maybe it exists in the space between what we see and what we believe.
I like that.
In that, liminal realm where history, myth, and imagination all intertwine.
Exactly.
So are we saying that Shah Jahan intentionally left this element open to interpretation?
It's possible.
That he wanted each viewer, each generation to come to their own conclusions about the Black Taj.
Yeah.
Whether it was real or simply a figment of our collective imagination.
I think that's very likely.
Wow.
He created something that transcends time and culture.
Yeah.
Something that continues to resonate with people centuries later.
Right.
Precisely because it allows for individual interpretation. It's a testament to the power of human imagination and the enduring allure of mystery.
It makes you wonder if the Black Taj Mahal is more than just a legend.
Right.
More than just a reflection.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a symbol of the unknowable. A reminder that there are some mysteries we may never fully solve.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of what makes history so captivating.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we're still piecing together the past, that there are always new discoveries to be made.
Right.
And new perspectives to consider. And who knows? Maybe someday we'll find concrete evidence that proves or disproves the existence of a physical Black Taj.
Okay.
But until then, the legend itself is enough to spark our imaginations and keep us coming back to this story time and time again.
Well, I think we've done a pretty thorough job of unpacking this legend today.
I think so.
We've explored the historical accounts or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Examined the symbolism and the evidence, and even ventured into the realm of perception and interpretation.
Absolutely.
I feel like I have a much deeper appreciation for the Taj Mahal.
Yeah, me too.
Not just as a beautiful building, but as a window into a complex and fascinating culture.
I hope our listener feels the same way
the
next time you see an image of the Taj Mahal, or maybe even have the chance to visit in person.
Right.
I hope you'll remember this conversation.
Yeah.
Look for the subtle details.
Okay.
Consider the hidden meanings. And don't be afraid to ask your own questions.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to finally uncover the truth behind the Black Taj Mahal.
Or maybe, just maybe, you'll find your own interpretation.
Okay.
Your own meaning in this enduring legend.
I like that.
And that's the beauty of history. It's a conversation that never truly ends.
Well said.
Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive today.
It was my pleasure.
And to all of our listeners out there.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.